Hi guys, I'm Paul from the Vlogs. I'm here with Melissa Thompson in her garden in London, and she's going to be cooking for us from her book. What are you cooking?
So I'm going to be cooking from Fired Up, and we're going to do a seafood boil, but a seafood barbecue boil, so done obviously on the barbecue. So we've got like lobster, mussels, prawns, scallops, and then potatoes, corn, so like your classic. If anyone's watched a video online of like seafood boil kind of mukbang,
Which apparently is a niche area of the internet.
yeah, well, I mean, it is niche, and I never normally get sucked into these things, but they got me like hook, line, and sinker, and I just wanted to eat them so much, and so then I made it, but on the barbecue.
Amazing.
Let's do it.
Cool, let's go.
So I don't know if you can see that. This is what we're making.
I'm sous chef, so if you
Brilliant.
need lackey jobs doing,
Okay,
let me know.
all right, well, the ultimate in lackey jobs then is, do you want to prep the prawns?
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So would you be able to just cut down the back?
Yep.
And then you can cut like into the flesh a little bit, so we
Yeah.
can get, when we season it, we can get the seasoning in,
Yeah.
remove the poo tracts,
Yeah.
and then just cut off trim off the legs and the
Okay.
antennae piece.
I've actually never done this before. So this
Have you not?
No.
I'd say I don't cook a lot of seafood at home, which is
Okay.
why this is cool for me to come and do with you.
If you start from this end,
Yeah.
you'll be able to get the scissors in between the neck and the back, and then that'll be an easier way in.
Cool.
And then you can stop just when you get that last, yeah, that's it, and then you just
Cool.
cut that all the way down.
And like
And
physically
stop.
break it open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we are going to cook them in the shells. So we've got these scallops, and the shell, when you cook it over fire of any shellfish, really imparts an extra layer of
yeah.
flavour. Like,
Okay.
and you can smell it. You can
Okay.
smell them like crackling in the fire, and it's so nice. While you're doing that, I'm going to start with the homemade Old Bay seasoning. And obviously, you can you can use shop bought, but I like to make things
Cool.
myself. So I've got a recipe in Fired Up for Old Bay homemade Old Bay seasoning, which is basically celery salt, and then we've got smoked paprika, and then black pepper. Which one is it? Black pepper. This one, isn't it? Oh, I ground that this morning, and then pimento, allspice. I've got some nutmeg. It's like basically it's like a load of different spices, and it all comes together. This is my little Jamaican grater that I bought back, and I love it, especially for nutmeg, which is quite a common spice in Jamaica. That's the nutmeg in there. We've got English mussel powder, and then coriander, which is there.
Yeah.
I think so. This is some chili powder. I actually made that chili powder. I dried it myself for a little project I was working on. And then MSG.
First up, prawn. De-pooed. Tidied up.
Right, so this is the Old Bay. That is ready. So I've got some butter here, some salted butter, because I haven't put salt in the Old Bay seasoning.
Okay.
It has got MSG, but I haven't salted it. But I like to use salted butter. And so we're going to go in with a couple of tablespoons of this. So in the book, this has got a separate recipe, and I do suggest people just make a big old batch of
Yeah,
it.
okay. So you could use it for resting a steak or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, anything, like a bit of chicken, like you were saying, on seafood. And also, I think things like this, it's like if you're cooking a quick dinner at night and you just want to get something, like inject a quick bit of flavour,
Yeah.
like flavoured salts, again, like you can make them yourselves. So having something like this is just quite nice to
Yeah.
get
Okay. Yeah. I must admit, I've steered clear of like using, like smoked salt. But would you say that's worth doing that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
And again, I mean, I don't think like for me, flavour isn't always about cooking something and then going, oh my god, this has got smoked salt in it. Because
Yeah,
I think some of the biggest, hardest workhorses in the kitchen are the things that you don't necessarily can identify, but they're actually doing work in the background.
Yeah. So like using acid, for example, will completely change.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, or like even bay, because bay gets a hard time, but bay, it has a purpose. It's just working quietly in the background.
yeah.
And fair play to them, because they don't want the attention. They're just happy just to like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll bring some flavour, but I'm not going to kind of sing about
No
big
main
singing
character
parts.
energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Kind of like me in this YouTube series.
Right, so butter, I'm going to go in with some Old Bay with that, and then we've got some garlic. And I need to add a bit of parsley to this as well, so I'll do some chopping of some parsley in a second. Do you know what? Right, the sun's out today, but actually it's not that warm, and I can tell because my butter has rehardened, just like I am rehardening, and slowly losing the feeling in my fingers. Right, I'm going to chop this parsley, and then got a bit of some onion granules need to get in there, so we'll put those there.
I'm just slowly battling through these prawns.
You're doing a really good job.
Learning
thanks.
as I go.
Nice. It's like you're an old hand. But thank you for doing that.
Cool.
I'm going to prep these now. So we just cut down the... So actually a very similar thing to the prawns. And then we just want to sort of separate the shell from the... Or separate the flesh from the shell. Because then ultimately I want it to sit on top. So kind of exposing it to the heat.
But use the shell to protect it.
Yeah. And they'll just sit on top, and then the indirect heat will just kind of cook that through. And we'll go over that with a bit of Old Bay as well. So this is going to be used for like dunking potatoes and stuff, but I'm also going to melt it to drizzle some into the into the scallops.
Sounds good.
So I'm just going to put this on just to melt it a little bit. Look at that. This is, you were asking me earlier why I like using just like good charcoal, and I think it's, I'm going to be like a bit kind of overly romantic about just charcoal for a minute, but like the sound of it, I love that crackle.
Yeah.
And just the look of it, and it's just it just looks like you wanna cook on it.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm literally going to leave that on there for a little bit. I'm trying to keep the handle away from the fire as much as possible. Oh, and also I'm going to put these onions just into the fire, and then they're going to just like blacken. So these scallops are disco scallops, and they're so cool because they are like the other end of the kind of sustainability scale to trawling. So they discovered by accident that scallops are attracted to light. So they have the traps, and then they put lights in them, and they've got videos of the scallops just like kind of like making their way over. And you said that you haven't always been that.
I've eaten one scallop that I enjoyed in my life, but it was the last scallop I ate, and I'm just wondering whether maybe I've just never had them cooked well.
We can go in with put a little, like drizzle a little bit of that into here, and then I can transfer this back into there.
Cool.
So, because you were talking about like fish and you know, like sort of the sustainability, how sustainable it is. How much are you guided by sustainability? Because obviously in your work you are, and does that extend into your home life as well in terms of what
the other
you're
way
eating?
around. Home life fed the business.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm quite into the outdoors, and I think naturally sustainability comes with that. But I was in Zimbabwe on a charity trip, and we were like walking around this game reserve, and the guide basically every time he saw a bit of plastic would be like, "Someone go pick that up, please. Can someone go pick that up?"
Okay.
You get chatting to him, and this plastic is like blown in from the nearest city. So you're talking like plastic carrier bags blown in from the nearest city on the air and end up in this like wild game reserve in the middle of Zimbabwe. And that sort of got me a bit in it. Okay. I was like, right, if these guys are out here clearing up other people's plastic mess, then I need to do better.
Okay.
So at that point, I started working really hard in our personal life to use less plastic.
Okay.
And then when we then set the business up, I then learned about like the road miles thing for charcoal and wood a little bit more. So
Wow.
yeah.
I'm just having a look. So we've got the potatoes. We've already pre-boiled these. This is the first of the Jersey Royals this year,
okay.
which is very exciting. Could you just hit them with a bit of oil, please?
Yeah.
And I might go and get a little bit of salt as well, actually, which I have brought down. Could you sprinkle the prawns with a bit of the Old Bay?
Yeah.
That would be lovely. I'm going to put a little bit of this onto the back of the lobster tails with the Old Bay. And then I'll brush cap with the garlic butter as well as it's cooking.
So obviously, from a flavour point of view, it's just the consistency of the seasoning you've made through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that pretty typical of a boil? Because it's all sort of cooked in one go.
Yeah, and I think because everything tastes so different, right? So like,
Okay, yeah,
you have
yeah.
the sweetness of scallops, and so I think the seasoning, even though it's the same, interacts with everything a bit differently.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. So get the corn on there. And I haven't put anything on the corn, so we'll have the butter later. And then these potatoes that have been salted and pre-boiled. So they're just going to go like that. And then I'm going to get the held lobsters. So they're going to kind of go indirect. And I've got these sausages as well, because I wanted like, you can use kielbasa, like sort of Polish smoked sausage. And these are almost like little chorizo.
Just got a bit of heat in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a little bit of like paprika. All right, and then the mussels won't take very long to cook. So we'll do that. I'm going to turn these. gonna just go for it with these.
Actually, you do cook them direct in their shells as well.
Yeah. Because then you get the char of the.
You said the shell flavour, yeah.
Yeah, because my favourite way to do them is like when they sit directly on the coals. Let's get the prawns on. Yeah, see that? Look, so they've already started. Another part of this as well is like moving stuff around. So say with some of these, and they've really started. So if I move them over a little bit, I'm trying not to lose some of that butter. And then I can kind of bring them back, but I don't want them to overcook because then they get rubbery.
Yeah.
And then they're unpleasant. It's like these potatoes, I've got a lovely bit of colour on them, and I'm just turning them over to make sure they get that colour all over.
Yeah.
And then eventually they can come off because I want to free up this basket for the mussels eventually.
It's also come together on a tiny amount of charcoal, really, hasn't it?
Yes. Well, this is it, isn't it? Because I think that's why people, again, are a bit funny, or they're even funny about cooking something that isn't going to take that long, but actually, because you can just close the barbecue at the end of the cook and save that barbecue. So I always think of a cook that you're investing in your future cook with the charcoal that you're using, because then you can use that as the starter for your next one. So immediately you just get that pepper, and the paprika. And the prawns are something that I'm really funny about overcooking as well, because they actually don't take very long.
It's probably one of the main reasons why people don't get into cooking seafood, right? As well as, particularly fish on the barbecue can be quite challenging.
Yes.
But, chicken thighs on the barbecue, so easy.
Yeah.
Almost can't get them wrong.
Yes.
Whereas with a lot of fish, it's very easy to get it wrong.
Yeah, totally.
So it is a more intimidating thing to cook.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to move these lobsters a bit closer.
Yeah.
And eventually as well, I think I'm going to go and get a basting brush so I can just get a bit of butter onto them.
Yeah. Will you probe any of this, or are you just going on experience?
I'm going on experience, and I mean the prawns. So the prawns, as soon as they see that one there.
Yeah, the pinkness.
And it's the pinkness, and I want to. So this one, for instance, I'm going to put that away from the heat now. They're a bit of a pain in the arse, prawns, when you overcook them, because then they stick to the shells.
Right, so it makes the whole experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit of a faff. I'm going to go in with the mussels now.
Yeah.
So we are very almost there.
Cool.
And then obviously we're just going to wait for these to open. Again, we don't want these to overcook either. Right, so this is pretty much, I'm just going to get a bit more heat on the lobster. And then we are done as soon as those mussels open.
Cool. So they're getting pretty close as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they are quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super quick, the old mussels. So what I'm going to do is start bringing stuff over, and then the lobster will be ready.
I think I've just got scallop first, haven't I?
Go for it. I really hope.
Do you go single bite scallop?
Yeah, I do. And maybe put a bit of maybe squeeze a bit of lemon on it as well.
Are you nervous?
I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it turns out I just like scallops.
You do like them?
Yeah.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my god!
That was amazing.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Turns out I do like scallops, which is a nice thing to learn about yourself.
That's really nice.
Just before your 43rd birthday. So I've got half of my life left, hopefully, to eat scallops, so we're okay.
It's just a real celebration of ingredients and of time, and I think it tests you as a cook to time everything properly, but it's all in the prep, and it kind of like when you read about it, it's quite intimidating, but actually, as we've seen, it's all in the prep.
I think even just seeing a photo of it makes it look intimidating because, prawns, hard to get right. Scallops are very hard to get right. Lobster, don't want to fuck it up because it's expensive. I would never even have thought of cooking mussels on a barbecue. So independently, quite challenging components, and you're doing them all at once.
Yes.
But as I said, watching you, it comes together real quick.
Because I remember when I started out in barbecue, I don't know if you were the same, and it's just like, it's so easy to panic about things, and you're like, oh man, it's burning, like what do I do? And then you just move it, and that's why we have, like, if you zone the barbecue, so you've got that cool zone, so the scallops are like bubbling along nicely, but we don't want them to overcook, so then they go in the cooler zone, The prawns you definitely don't want to overcook. So as soon as they're almost ready, bring them over to the indirect, and then they have a bit more time to get to the cook stage. And then the lobster is like I think less is more, and I think less heat definitely yields better.
Nice
Then
gentle.
yeah, and then you can. Like with the lobster, like that was the last thing I took off the grill, and because it needed a little bit more time, I ended up just like grilling that directly over the coals for a little bit, like to bring it up to speed, and it's just done. And I think it's a pretty cool dish if you had like a group of people coming over.
Yeah. Well, it's showcase food, isn't it? Like even just serving it on paper is a cool thing that will surprise people.
Yeah, and then you can like sort of like wrap it all up, but also, and I'm not just doing this because you're here, but I think it's also about the fuel, because you have that interaction. Like normally we just talk about the interaction between the fire and the ingredients, and here you have got the fire and the ingredients, but for a lot of things you've also got the shells, like the scallop shells, the mussel shells, and also the prawn shells, especially the prawns and the scallops, and they impart flavour. We've got the onions cooking directly in the coals, so you want to make sure that the coals you're using are nice, and that's really critical to the overall taste of it, and the taste that the shell gives. I feel like we should have like a little kind of glass of like chilled rosé or something, just like cheers it. Do you know what I mean?
It was technically finished before midday, so that gives us
Let's just do it with our water, because we're both of an age.
Here's to scallops, and push yourself, quick bit more fish on the barbecue.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Nice one. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Cheers.